Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Doug.
We're the world's strongest under the heavens duo here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, what's new with you, man?
Nothing much, just being the king of figures in my domain. just me here.
All of your serfs made of plastic.
Yeah, I made a mistake and I found a Japanese importing site that made it super easy to just hit a few buttons and then, I'm getting stuff from Japan. Shipping is expensive. I might as well get a bunch of stuff, and just so many different reasons in my head why I need to spend so much. Whatever. I'm happy. I'm getting all the figures I've always wanted.
You're getting that dopamine hit from getting your vinyl statues of muscly men.
That's when you put it that way. Yeah. Only problem is that, because I live in a small place, I still haven't opened them because I don't have anywhere to display them because I have such a small living space.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to the future. Like I'm hopeful that there'll be a time and place where I have a bigger place that I can open them all. So I'm preparing. Otherwise, I'll have to spend double the money on these figures when I have to rebuy them from resellers. Exactly,
and that would be no fun. That's a good investment then.
That's
you're
what
saving yourself
my
money.
Friends don't get that.
You know what? You have such a passion for figures. We're going to have to talk about that on a later episode.
Yeah,
we'll make
sure.
it the whole thing.
On our audio podcast. Look at this. Look at this one's amazing.
Well, we've been talking.
Oh, yeah?
We've been talking, Doug, about doing some video podcasts here and there.
Is that a possibility? Do we have the technology?
You know what? I'm looking at you right now with a webcam. I think we can make it happen.
You're ruining the magic. As I'm staring in your eyes, there's no way we can do video. There's no.
Oh, yeah. No, it's impossible. Well, maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Maybe on a special episode of a number we hit. I don't know.
Or just whenever, because, it could be 49, the next one, because we're on 48 right now.
Oh,
so who
really?
knows?
It would be kind of cool if we did 50, but, so let's not put any pressure on ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, pressure on you every week when we run out of ideas to talk about Dragon Ball. Speaking of which...
We don't have to worry about ideas anymore. Thank you, everybody, all of our listeners who answered my begging plea to give us ideas.
When we run dry, we come to you guys.
Don't say it that way.
Your mind always thinks that way. I'm sorry.
But you guys came through, guys, gals, everybody, to tell us what you want to hear from the show, and we're listening. So
Which
we're
is
going
still crazy.
to...
I still do this show as if no one is listening. Like, it's just you and me talking. It blows my mind that people out there are listening. So just thank you if you are. That's awesome.
Yeah, it means a lot to us. I look at the numbers too, and I'm like, I'm surprised.
I'm
also
like, someone wants to
listen
to me for this many hours, and to
Right?
Randy specifically. Oh man.
It's wild to me because I've done podcasts in the past, but I had bad analytics. So I'm like, I don't know. I think 4 people listen. That's neat.
Yeah. I'm like my friend listens. Shout out Jair, and my mother maybe. That's gotta be it.
Just so that I won't kill myself.
Yeah. Is he still okay? He hasn't called this week. Let me see. He's talking about Dragon. Oh, we spent more money on Dragon Ball figures again. He's still alive.
But you gonna ask me what I've been up to? How
Love your mom, by the way. Yeah, Randy, how you doing?
Love you too, Doug's mom. I'm doing good. I'm not sure if I talked about this. Well, I know I did it on the previous episode where I was begging people for ideas. I've been playing Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't have to say which one. You can answer them. All of them.
All of them. I've always wanted to play them. It's kind of been my white whale. And I just needed an excuse. And there's a podcast that I listen to, and normally they talk about new video games, and they were like, we're trying something new this year. When we don't have anything new to talk about, we're going to play something old, and then we're going to start off with Metal Gear Solid. So I was like, well, if I want to listen to the next episode, I gotta finally do that.
That's the incentive you need, because otherwise you'd be spoilered.
Yeah, exactly. So I played 1 in like 3 days, and then I played 2 in like 3 days, and then I played 3 in like 5 days.
Dude, when you find something, you put all your guns towards it. You go for it.
I sure do. So now I'm midway through 4. So
that's like a longer game, isn't it? It's not your fault that it didn't take you 3 days. It's just a longer game.
No, it's longer, and also I was playing all the other ones emulated on my Steam Deck, so I could play them at work. This one I have to play on a buddy's PS3 because I don't have one anymore. So can only play at home.
Yeah,
so.
Gotcha. You're limited. Gotcha.
I am. But after this, I can go back and I can play Peace Walker mobile. I can play Revengeance on the deck. I could play 5 on the... It's going to be great. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's been a trip. These games, spoiler alert, are great. And I don't know if anybody knows that.
I mean, it's a hot take, I heard.
Yeah, they're pretty underground. Not a lot of people know about Metal Gear Solid.
I played the first one years back, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, but it's just for me, I'm not really good at sneaking around games. Like, and I'm a scaredy cat. I get scared when people find me. I'm like, I gotta do guns blazing now. No, but no, the first one was a great experience. I didn't play it until I think it was re-released on PS3. Like, so I didn't play it when it first came out. I haven't played it like recently, but it's like right in the middle, like back in the and it like back when the graphics weren't like great, but it was still an enjoyable game. Like, it didn't matter.
Oh yeah, I'm impressed with the cinematography of a PlayStation 1 game.
That's what sells it,
blew
dude.
my mind.
Yeah, they really were like, I'm not making a game, I'm making art. So I'm like, all right,
this guy knows what's up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue doing that, and that's great. But Metal Gear Solid is way too complex for video games we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
Instead, we're going to, I guess, stick to the thing that we talk about, which is Dragon Ball.
Yeah, the same story. You starts at Raditz, ends at Great Saiyaman.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about the Budokai series, or just Dragon Ball Z.
Budokai if you're nasty.
Exactly. Or just the Dragon Ball Z series if you're from Japan.
Yeah. How bold is that? Just to name the game Dragon Ball Z.
It really threw people for a loop when you could find Dragon Ball Z 2.
They had no ambition for like, this we shouldn't dump out games 1, 2, and 3. We're good.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just going to go at a high level today, talk about the whole series. Maybe we'll dive into certain ones later on, but we're just going to
Thanks to whose idea? You got to give credit where credit is due. Whose idea was this? So
Zenpai threw it out about doing video games.
Yeah,
oh, man.
buddy.
A lot of people threw out stuff about games, and
surprisingly, people want to talk about the games, and I really wish, we could like do more of that. But I don't have the old games anymore, so we're gonna have to just kind of. Well, you have played them recently.
Yeah, I booted up Budokai 1 and 2 for the GameCube today, as well as Infinite World for the PS2, just to get a feel. But that's not all. We're going to talk about all of these, and I just want to throw it out there. We're going to be talking about Budokai 1, 2, which was released for the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. Budokai 3 for the PlayStation 2. Shin Budokai 1 and 2, Another Road for PlayStation
PSP.
Portable. You got it. It's a nut you can play outside. Infinite World for the PlayStation 2. And if you want to get technical, Dragon Ball Evolution for the PSP is a reskin of a Budokai game. And Burst Limit is the next gen, quote unquote, evolution of the series.
Man, they were so close with that one.
I know. Well, it's 2 gens back, so not really next anymore.
Yeah.
And that was for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, all developed by Dimps, who would go on to make the Xenoverse games. And,
they skipped the Tenkaichi games, right? They're not part of those? Yeah.
That was Spike. So
Spike.
This is Dimps. You might know them from other things like Sonic Advance, Digimon Battle Spirit.
I did not know them for that.
They're also co-developers with Capcom on a little title called Street Fighter 4.
Oh, I've heard of those guys. I hope they're doing okay.
I think they're doing all right.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, Doug, there's a lot of games. Which of these have you played?
Oh, I've played damn near all of them. Up until all the ones you mentioned, except for the Evolution reskin. But as a general background scale, like I started Budokai 1, and then I stopped playing after Tenkaichi 1 came out because I'm like, Tenkaichi sucks. Like, I'm not, in my eyes, I didn't like the Tenkaichi series.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna spend money on 2 and then 3. Oh, 3 everyone says is good. It's the same thing. It's the same moves. You just mash square with a different skin. So what if there's 130 characters? They all do the same exact thing. That's my little rant. I'm sorry.
I'll say that I accept what you say, even though you are entirely wrong.
Dang, sucks to suck.
But you played all of these Budokai games.
Yes. I played the Budokai games, even the one on the PSP. I think I love the PSP one. I think I never had Another Road, but I did have the Shin Budokai one. But I spent so many hours on that. Just on the I think on the practice mode, it was just me fighting against the CPU Vegeta, and I had the best of time because I synced it up. I love in games recreating scenes, I guess.
Oh
or just making it more like a movie, or making it more like an event. So I would always pick Vegeta as a character, and we both like fight a little bit, clash, and then crawl backwards and then power up and then go Super Saiyan 1 and then fight a little more, Super Saiyan 2, fight a little more, Super Saiyan 3, and then Majin Vegeta. Like it was a great time. I knew when to do beam clashes. Like I could read the CPU like a fucking book. He had no chance, but I still made it a fun time. And I think because of that, sorry, should I just go into it? I have so many
keep going,
things in my
man.
head.
This is great.
Because of how much I played that game. When a buddy of mine, this is like when I went to college. So when a buddy of mine, he was like, "Oh, you he knows I like Dragon Balls, but he didn't know I played the Budokai games that much." He hosted like tournaments at the college we were at, with him and his friends would play. So he invited me over one day just to try out. I came over and I whooped everyone's ass without even trying. I was like, "Oh, you scrubs don't know what you're doing." Like I don't know. I think just me in my home alone playing Shin Budokai got my skills to the next level of. I think it was like Budokai 3 that I played, but yeah, he's like, I'm the best. Like he was really toting himself out. Like, I'm the best. I'm like, oh okay. Like I'm a very humble guy. I feel like. Well, now that I said that, whatever. But you know what I mean. Like right. I don't outwardly brag. I'm very shy in real life. So I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I want to play that. That sounds like fun, and just completely wipe the floor with everyone there.
Nice.
It's my proudest moment.
You took home the trophy. You went home with a bunch of babes.
Yes, that was, and then my life just went to shit after that. That was peak. That was peak Doug.
It's all downhill after that.
No, but it was cool. It was cool.
Nice. I have played also most of these. I had Budokai 1 for the GameCube. 2, I only ever rented a few times. I got through it, but I never owned that one. 3, man, that was a huge deal. Played that with people big. All the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but I had my buddy, Hans, over. Shout out to Hans if you're listening. You know what the story is. I was like, this game is great. You got to play with me sometime. He's like, all right, I'll try. So I've been practicing. I've been playing for hours and hours and hours. And I pick, I don't know, Goku or Gohan. And he picks Fat Boo. I'm like, all right, cool.
All right, cool.
And then he's just juggling me on his belly and knocks me out. And I'm like, that sucked. Match 2. And he's like, nope, put the controller down. I'm never touching this series ever again.
He's 1 for 1.
I'm walking away a champion. You lost. I'm better.
He can be like, I'm undefeated in this game. Sucks for you. Yeah, my friend did the same thing where I wasn't ready. It's just like I said, I wiped my ass's friends in college who would play the game all the time. But then my friend comes up and just starts mashing the energy key blast, the circle. I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're playing it wrong. I'm like, I'm winning though. I'm like, dang it. It was a lot of fun.
It's so good. I mean, 3 was kind of where it was at, mostly just because they finally refined the gameplay, and also where I was at in life. I had a lot of people I could play with, so
nice. Yeah, I was hoping Burst Limit got a 3 because I knew I loved how Burst Limit was, but they had so many things, so many cons that I'm like, okay, but they'll iron it out by 3. But then they never released the second or third one. Like, it was a bummer.
Nope, they just did 1, and that's kind of where it left off, which sucks.
I had I had the Budokai games for PlayStation 2. Like they were the first when they first came out. Like I got them immediately, and from my parents. I was a kid, so of course no money. But I remember for Christmas one year, Budokai 2 was going to come out, and I so wanted it so bad. And I had saved up money, and I went out and I finally bought it. And my parents were like, "You bought it? We they finally opened up a cabinet and were like, we bought it for you for Christmas. You couldn't wait 10 more days." I'm like, whoops. No, I couldn't.
Could not actually.
Could not. And then I entered board game hell when Budokai 2 with the story mode, which was interesting. I don't think I hated it too much, but it was definitely weird.
Let's talk about what these games kind of like. Yeah. Because you brought up the board game thing. What differentiates them? Obviously, Budokai 1 was the first one. It was the first Dragon Ball game after Funimation was doing it to come out here in the States and make an impact. I mean, Final Bout had come out here before.
Well, but a normie like me would have that'd be my first Dragon Ball Z game.
Mm-hmm. Was it your very first Dragon Ball game?
I want to say yes, unless I'm forgetting about it. No, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Not even a Game Boy Advance game or anything. Oh, maybe Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Regular Color with the trading card game. But I think I just played. A friend had it and I played it for a little bit. But
yeah. So this one is kind of like a 3D fighter, I suppose, kind of close to Street Fighter in a way, more so than the later Tenkaichi games were. But you
Really
played
suck,
through the story of Raditz to Cell.
With like full on cutscenes, like full on like like new rendered animation using in-game footage, and it was pretty cool for the time.
Yeah,
cool
I mean,
now
we've had
still.
we've had a lot of games since then, and like, granted, the graphics are not super great, but I was, I booted up one today, and I'm like, let's check this out. I can't really tell you why the cutscenes are super good. I think it's just because they're decently animated. They don't have static, boring camera angles, and they're like succinct. They're like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna tell the story, we're gonna get across this character's motivation. You're gonna jump into it.
They don't drag out for like a 10-minute cutscene. They just like get right down in the nitty-gritty. I think I'm convinced that Budokai 1 is what everyone thinks of when they retell the story of Dragon Ball Z. Like whenever people like start spitting out information, they're not spitting out information about Dragon Ball Z the show. It's just like the game of like the 5-hour condensed version of Dragon Ball. So that's why a lot of people get the facts wrong, because they're just referencing this game.
Especially old people like us who were there and played that game.
Yeah,
New people,
I'm even guilty of
everything.
it too. Like I'm just like, okay, I watched Dragon Ball Z when I came out on Cartoon Network, but then the Budokai game started coming out, and like that was that was the Bible. That was how the story went. I was like, no, that's a condensed version. But there was one scene in Budokai 1 where that I preferred over the dub, where because I played it in English. I think the only option to play it was in English at the time too.
Unless you were in Europe, then you got it with the Japanese voice
freaking
acting.
Nice. But it was the scene where Gohan is defeating Cell with the Kamehameha at the end. And I think Cell, instead of just like dying like he does in the anime, Cell goes like, no, but I'm perfect. Like it kind of like does more impactful, like, oh, the irony in you, Cell, that you think you're such a perfect being and you are being killed.
Still in denial, even after he's being disintegrated.
Yeah, he's like, this can't be. I'm perfect. Like, there's no way. This. Yeah, I like that. I like that extra line. It's cool.
Yeah, it's good. Great cutscenes. The combat, like we said, is kind of a 3D fighter. You're kind of on a 2D plane. You've got a punch button. You got a kick button. You got an energy blast button, and you got a guard button. And it's very basic.
You make combinations to like do certain moves, like things square, circle was a Kamehameha.
Yep, punch, energy, which is, I believe, called dial-a-combo style fighting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you would have different skill capsules that you would equip. Be like, okay, this gives Goku a Kamehameha.
Oh my god, the capsules! Oh! You know that moment in Death Note when like Light, after he relinquishes the Death Note and then he touches it again, he gains all his memory back? You just did that to me with this. Oh my god, the capsules! Whoa.
I remember spending so much time in my basement playing through World Tournament mode to grind out Zenny so I could go into the shop and get good capsules that I didn't have yet.
And it was just random, whatever popped up, right? How do you... Is it just you went in and out of the store and it would change randomly, or was it you had to do
something like that. Something like that.
Some annoying RNG, but like, to get them all. Because the way you set up your character, every character had, I don't know if you were ever going to explain it, but every character has like 7 slots, and you have to attach moves to the character to be able to use them. Otherwise, you go into a stage with nothing. So you have to insert Kamehameha, or like I think the Kamehameha is basically energy. The dialect, whatever you said, is already on there, but like the supers or the transformations, you have to add them in there. So you could walk in there fully stocked. It was cool.
You could also put in items like senzu beans or different stat boostings.
They took like 7 slots or whatever, so it was like crazy. You had to like really like think about how to set up this character. It was really cool. I think it was so senzu bean. I forget what else is like super long, but a lot of stuff like took up a lot of space. Maybe like Super Saiyan 4 or something took up more than one slot.
Budokai 1 only went up through
Cell, that's right.
So.
That was just the rumor back in the days. Like you gotta beat Cell with Kid Goten by unlocking Goten. He's not even in the game. You gotta find him and defeat it 10 times. Yeah, back in those days, early internet
Wild
times.
West.
Yeah, early internet days.
So the one thing that I had a problem with when I was playing Budokai 1 today is there is very limited defensive choices. You basically can guard, that's it. Can't like teleport or like dodge or anything.
Teleporting like changed the game. That was a great addition.
Yeah.
It was so fun to just zip in and out.
1 was great because it started this whole franchise and kind of like had a skeleton to build off of and had really great story cutscenes. And then a year later we got Budokai 2, which scrapped the whole cutscene thing. They're like, nope, now we're going to go.
Yeah, that's a shame. It went more like generic, what is it, run-of-the-mill Japanese game. Where like that was my first introduction to Japanese games that do that, where it's just like a graphic novel. Not just like a novel.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
With a character pops up, just the image of them and then words at the bottom. I'm like, this is lame compared to the first game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have been offended if they would have just pulled the cutscenes from the first one and just used their current in-engine stuff, because they redesigned things. They gave it a cel-shaded look.
Yes, that was the cool thing about the game though is the cell shaded look of it. It's like it looks like like the cartoon. It's awesome.
Yeah, and instead of the cutscenes, like you said, you've got sort of like a visual novel thing where it's just a bust of a character talking, but you also have a game board. So each world or each story arc is this game board, and you've got the bad guys there, and you've got different power-ups along the board. Like, okay, if I move Tension Han up here, he'll get strength plus 30%, and then I can go fight Nappa.
Yeah.
And
it had a lot of what if segments throughout the board game too, where you would, I remember having to fight like a Majin Frieza or something like that.
Yep, that's right. They got wacky and had to puff that thing out. Like, I was trying to just get through the science stuff. I'm like, this is taking forever because I have to move these characters and I have to do their thing.
They knew how to drag out the game so you play longer by doing that. But it was cool how Goku had his own like sprite within the game, but it kind of sucked that no one else did. Like, it was just like an image of like Yamcha or Gohan that you would move across the board, but Goku was like full body, you know?
Yeah. It's it was good. I mean, it really refined the gameplay, changing up how ultimates and stuff were done. It was good times. So they definitely did a good job there. But then the real star of the show was Budokai 3.
They killed it, man. The fact that they introduced you into this open world where you can actually fly around in, that's like, whoa, this is the best Dragon Ball ever. It was awesome.
You could look for items and stuff by just like concentrating and searching for key, and it would show you on the map.
And like Vegeta would use a scouter, but then when he reached the Namek Saga, he had learned it at that time. So then without the scouter, he does the sensing energy thing. It's so cool. So many details are in it. The story is incredible. Well, I mean, it's the basic story, but still, it's done really well, I feel like.
I mean, it bummed me out that it was, again, just like, here's a bust of a character and then them talking. We don't do cutscenes or anything here.
Yeah.
But
still.
The real star of the show, though, was the gameplay, because like, they upped it a bunch. They added a bunch of new characters. They refined how combat works. They added more defensive capabilities. You could teleport. You could, do pursuit combos. Like, man, it was good. It was good stuff.
I love just in those games charging up for energy like that is so satisfying. Just like being across from your opponent and you both charging up at the same time. And I love how in each Budokai game they got better and better with how they have stances, because everyone in the first game everyone had the same dumb looking stance that looks like they're constipated. And I think this the second one up until the third one that like really refined, where each one like had their own character depth. Where like Piccolo would like really low and his arms kind of like stretched out like and like the tall characters which kind of like have a different. It just looked like appropriate to the character. It was really cool.
There's a lot of polish to it.
A lot of polish. Yeah, loved it.
And man, it was the cat's pajamas. Like, we played that all the dang time. Fighting was so great. I like what you brought up of like everybody, taking a second to charge. Like, there was me and this dude we'd play all the time. Like, one of us would be Goku, the other one would be Vegeta, and like, ready, fight, and then just until we were maxed out, Super Saiyan 4,
Let's go.
Then we go at it.
Right off the bat.
it. It was so good. I loved that game.
I missed that game, man. It was so much fun, and I forget what I was gonna say, but amazing game.
After that, still on the PS2, I'm getting kind of going out of chronological order here, but we had Dragon Ball Z Infinite World, which doesn't have the Budokai title, but it is an evolution of Budokai 3. We added in a bunch of new characters, some like dashing mechanics.
What was the deal with that game?
Budokai.
Do you know like why it was even created?
Yeah, actually. So people were starting to move on to the new systems, the PS3 and the 360. So obviously they developed a game to sell on that, which was Burst Limit. But there was still such a huge install base for the previous gen. I mean, PS2 is one of the highest selling consoles ever. Yeah. So they're like, we got to throw something together and sell something to these guys too. So it's just kind of an evolution of the Budokai 3 thing. Taking some stuff from Shin Budokai and Burst Limit and incorporating it, adding in more characters and having the story go through GT. I don't know. It's both simultaneously cheap, but also like really good and a really refinement
polished
of it.
Yeah, I remember buying it like later on in its cycle, maybe like for like $11 or whatever. But I can't remember if I actually got very far or if I just got to Raditz, got my ass kicked, and was like, "Fuck this game."
It's pretty good. I mean, they don't have you fly around the world like you did in 3, but they do have these mini games where like you've got to run through like these hoops and like get money and like get to your destination. So like the first one is like get to Raditz's pod, right? And then later on they've got to like catch bubbles and like just a whole bunch of like things to really shake it up.
I remember there being like fun aspects, like I can't wait to play this, but I can't remember if I did or didn't. But it had a lot of fun little moments in there.
Mm-hmm. I did beat that one. It was a slog to try and beat the final evil dragon because
I heard that was
he was
tough.
hard as hell.
I heard that was tough. Yeah. I know I didn't beat it. That's for sure. Like I just can't remember if I got past Raditz or not. Is what I'm misremembering.
If you've got the chops, that game's really great.
Oh, speaking of Raditz, that makes me just remember back in Budokai 1, like there was little mini games in that too, where you would be full Nelson on Raditz. Yeah, moving around the joystick, trying to keep him within like a little bar while Piccolo charges up his Makanko Sapo, and it was like so frustrating. Like, come on, stay in the dang line, the vision.
Yeah, I did that today. So I remember that pretty well.
Randy was doing a dance. I know you guys can't see, but he was doing the dance, the holding him in place dance.
Like trying to get out of the way of this blast that's going to kill me.
TikTok dance. I'm going to do that. The Raditz hold.
You got to do it with a buddy, him right behind you with his arms up under you. Yeah, that'll be good.
That's amazing.
So you played more of the Shin Budokai games. Can you tell me like what those brought to the table?
It was same story with visual novel type stuff, but it had a little more of a what if I remember correctly. Or I don't know if it was what if or if it was the movies. But from what I remember, it was just a run of the mill thing, but just portable. That's why I loved it so much. It was it was more like Budokai 3 style, so everything was refined like it was, and it was great.
I know that 2 had its own original story that was something that happened later on, which is Boo attacks Trunks' future.
Trunks' timeline, yeah.
And
I never got Another Road. I never got that game. I think I was stuck with one. And
totally fair. But yeah, it seemed like it was kind of more of a refinement and then just like changing some things to work better as a portable game. I don't believe they had Dragon Rush, which was a thing in 3 where you burn all your ki to try to do these really big super moves. Shin Budokai was like, nah, just put in a button and do the super huge move. You don't have to burn everything by doing a Dragon Rush.
That was the one annoying thing in Budokai 3 that they introduced where it was great except for that. That didn't seem... Because it was a luck aspect at that point because it's you Dragon Rush by like knocking an enemy back with the move activated, and then you enter this cutscene where both players press a button, like you pick triangles, whatever button you have, GameCube or PlayStation, and as the opponent attacking you, hope that they don't match your button. Because if they do, and they do it 3 times in a row. So depending on how many you get, it's a stronger or no damage, but you want that final one. The cool thing was though, some moves were attached to doing 3 in a row. So if like you were Vegeta and you had Final Flash on your character, the only way to use it would be to successfully do 3 times that move, like the guessing game. Yeah. So when you got it, it was more like, I got it. Yes, he's gonna do the Final Flash. Oh, and like the scene environments when like the big super attacks go off, they really like show, like they pan out to space to show the Earth and all the damage it's doing. That was so cool. The Ginyu Force, whenever they do a move, like the Ginyu Sigma sign shows up on the blast, like it's so cool. They had fun with that game.
The Dragon Rush thing was also bad because if you're playing against any competent player, as soon as you enter Dragon Rush mode, they're like, all right, cool, fly backwards. Like, I'll just let you burn your ki.
Yeah.
Because if you can't hit me, then you can't go into that move.
It's like a Kaioken-esque kind of like move that you activate where it just drains your energy. So and you're fully red, and you're like, oh well, I'm not gonna touch you then. You're like you said, stay away.
Not
like,
the thing I'm gonna do.
Let me touch you once, dang, get over here.
Then Burst Limit came out, like we said, for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And what I wrote for this is ooh HD, less features, all sizzle, no steak.
Yes, that's really what it is. But it really got me with the Hironobu Kageyama. You know, just that song, man.
That was a selling point on the box. Was like featuring original song by Hironobu Kageyama in America, which is before they just scrubbed it clean. They're like, here is either Rock the Dragon at the start, or here's an instrumental version of that song.
That must have been one of the first like Japanese tracks besides like Inuyasha that I've heard like ever in America was Hironobu Kageyama, and I fell in love with that song. That's so good. It was so good. It's so good, man.
But then after that intro cutscene, you have the game, which I felt like...
But then you have the game.
It was like Budokai 1 in that it did the same amount of story, and it kind of, relied more on presentation versus gameplay. Yeah. I felt like the gameplay was pretty shallow.
Yeah, very.
And... yeah, not as many characters.
Looked really cool. Yeah, they really went down from like, I mean, if going from Budokai 3 to Burst Limit where it has like 10 characters compared to the 80 or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
They took away charging. They took away charging up, didn't they? That's one of the things.
That's right. You had the bar that automatically filled.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you said the cutscenes are pretty good. They were good until they started repeating, where like, oh, this really cool choreographed fight, like Goku versus Vegeta, and then you go to Namek, and then it's like Goku versus Raccoon, and it's the exact same choreography, same camera shot. I'm like, oh, okay. They charge each other,
model. And then like meet clash in the middle.
Yeah,
and I think even it didn't go from like seamless from cutscene to cutscene. You had to like go to this really dumb, boring looking UI to select chapters, and it was a mess.
Yep, exactly. And they introduced these drama pieces, which are like things you could equip instead of capsules.
Oh boy, yeah.
Where it's like, oh, Gohan's gonna say a thing like, "Oh, Dad, do this thing," and then like you do a move, but it
interrupts your gameplay, and it's something you activate. It's something like, if you get knocked back or something like that, then Gohan comes in, and it's just like even the player who successfully gets the drama piece to come up, you're like, stop ruining my flow of gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. It was not great. Good experiment, and it would have been good if they did more.
Yeah,
but we just got the one. So
yeah, such a shame.
And then Evolution for the PSP exists. So...
Oh boy, I always meant to get that, but I mean, it was just a reskin of. Was it a reskin of Shin Budokai or Another Road on PSP?
I don't know. They're both the same game.
I guess so. Yeah, gameplay wise.
I would assume. I didn't really play them, so unfortunately, I do not know.
Yeah,
but.
That's what introduced Bulma's name, I think, wasn't it? Or her alternate name, her real name,
Bulma,
quote unquote.
Enchanto or whatever.
Bulma Enchanto, yeah. Amazing.
Ugh, man,
DBE. It's catchy.
It's kind of catchy. So clearly, we have a lot of memories of this. We like them. I would say
they were part of our childhood, man. They're fantastic games,
right? You played 3 a lot. I played 3 a lot. Who did you main?
I think it was a Future Trunks with his Saiyan armor, but long hair.
Nice.
With the sword, or sometimes I alternate between, but still always the Saiyan armor because he looks so freaking awesome with that, and with the sword. Because like sometimes you can have him with the sword or without the sword. Oh man, that look looks so cool, man.
Weirdly, I think it was dependent on what ultimate you had him equipped. Because if you had the one where he used the sword, obviously he had the sword on his back. But,
right. Oh man, just slicing and dicing with that thing, like do it as a combo instead of your fists. It's so satisfying. He's so sick with it.
The animation for those games was so slick.
Yes.
Like just impressive and just smooth, man.
Man, I want to go back and play these now. Dang.
Let's go back in time.
Let's
PS2
do it.
Games. Those were good.
You should have it when I come over sometime. We need to like play that game.
Let's do it. I'm set. I got controllers. We'll make it happen.
Yes, let's do it.
Music, man. So playing the first one, I booted up today. I'm like, oh man, this is some good Yamamoto tracks. Like, before
you find out
in disgrace. I actually found an old review from like 2004 of somebody who got the soundtrack and is like reviewing it as an album, and they're like, this clearly like shows that he's got like great composing chops. I'm like, oh man,
oh boy.
Let me tell you.
Someone who made that song did.
Yeah, somebody did. It wasn't him. But I booted up one. I'm like, man, this music slaps. Like, I wish some intrepid, bored person would take Dragon Ball Z, excise the Kikuchi music and replace it with all of this.
Yeah.
And I just want to see how that feels. Yeah. Like, that could be really cool.
That'd be
amazing. Not to say that I
amazing.
don't want Kikuchi ever again, but I want to experience...
Right. Man, I still in my head think about... I still hear the in between the cutscene and the battles when you would like start setting up your character. I still hear the little jingle like... I don't know if you can put it...
That's what's in my mind.
Put a sound clip because that people need to hear that. Yeah, and it does a good job of like amping you up too. Like it's such a simple track, but it's good.
There's tracks to make you feel tension. There's tracks to make you feel dread. There's like I can't name all these tracks, but like every time they popped up, I'm like, damn, this is good placement. This is good. Man. Shoot, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that soundtrack now after I get off of here.
It's good. It's real good. Do you have any other outstanding memories about these game series that you want to bring up?
Them, but like as you're talking, I'm remembering, but I'm forgetting to keep them in my noggin to repeat. But I wish I could just go on and on about these games because they're fantastic, man. There's such. I just love the progression of how one is okay, but then it's polished to the third one, and it's, man, Love it.
I know that they got a HD re-release. It was Budokai 1 and 3 for the PS3, and I think maybe also the 360.
Kuriza. Let me just throw that out there so I remember to say that, but go on with your thing.
Sure. Did you ever play the HD remasters for
I didn't.
these?
I thought to myself, I don't need to. I already own them all. Why do I need them again? I didn't bother, but yeah.
I believe they changed the music, which would have been post Yamamoto going crashing and burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was kind of the same boat. I'm like, I don't really need to do this again and have a worse experience. But
I think I looked up reviews and there was nothing really different besides that.
If it had online play, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I know that with modern emulators, you can play online games.
Ooh, you can see me trying to get that? I might get that.
Am. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop buying so many plastic figurines. Get yourself a graphics card, and then we can play Budokai 3.
You're going to have to fucking kill me.
I'm not saying stop. I'm just saying take a break for just a month. Just get a graphics card.
If you were in the figure world, there's no such thing as breaks because this just keep coming, man. It won't stop. And if you miss it, you miss it.
I'm gonna hack your PayPal, so then it's won't be able to use it for a month.
If all goes according to plan, I should be collecting everything I need by the end in 3 months. I'll have everything.
Okay, we'll see.
I'll be back to normal spending.
So we talk about these games with a lot of reverence, a lot of great memories and things.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see a series like the Budokai series come back? And if so, what would you want to be done differently for a Budokai 4 or whatever it would be?
I want a Burst Limit 3. I want to skip 2 and just come back with that because Burst Limit had that charm of like how it looked. It did look a little glossy. I'm thinking about it now, and I feel a little like slick, like too slippery for some reason.
Right.
But I don't know. It had a lot of dynamicness about it. But no, even just a regular Budokai 4 would be incredible. I really miss those games. I would love to see a remake of that. That's why I was so disappointed when Spike came into the picture. I was like, fuck these guys. They don't know how to make fucking video games. Get the hell out of here. I'll wait until Budokai comes back. And then they never did.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that Spike, it was pretty rough at the start. And even by the third one, which I think is really incredible, still has a lot of polish issues. But, it is what it is. We'll talk about those games another time.
Yeah, but I was so mad when Raging Blast came out. I'm like, oh, it's still... What is Raging Blast? It's a new thing. Nope, it's just fucking Tenkaichi. Just Burst Limit done better, like how Burst Limit should have done. But
yeah,
but no,
absolutely.
Before I forget, again, the greatest... What is it called? The greatest collection? The greatest hits collection on PlayStation of Budokai 3 was a special edition, wasn't it? Where it would have alternate costumes of some characters. Do you want to go through those? Do you know those?
So I don't know all of them, but there was the Japanese release that had extra stuff, characters and
that
costumes.
We didn't get in America.
And then when we did get it when they had the greatest hits printing, which generally is just the same game. It's just got a different banner, a reduced price, and to be like, hey, this sold a lot. Here it is again, but cheaper.
You want to get this game? It's great. Everyone's buying it. Peer pressure. But this one had a different cover too, didn't it?
Different cover art, different features. Like it was actually just like a Game of the Year sort of version of things where they actually added things in.
Man, I didn't get it though. Because I couldn't justify buying it again. Again, I was a kid, so I couldn't really go out and form with my own money or anything. But it had you would alternate costumes of Frieza, and it would have his son Kuriza, which is the first time we would ever hear him. I'm like, what? What is this character? He has a chestnut for a head. And he's brown. That's so cool.
Who is a character we should say from Nekomajin Z, if you're not familiar, which is
Frieza does have a son canonically in the story,
right? Which was a manga done by Toriyama post Z,
very gag manga centric.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was good.
So you just want Burst Limit 3 is what you'd like. What would you like to see in a Burst Limit 3?
Bring back charging up.
Okay, yeah.
Do away with the rush. Do away with the. I'm trying to think. Right now, there's no other game. Yeah, because I suck with Fighter Z. As much as I love Fighter Z, that kind of fighting game I don't like, but I do love just the square, triangle, square. Like figuring out those kind of moves to unlock the super. It's really fun. Give me don't give me like season pass stuff, but do give me something to grind for. I did like the grind of unlocking all those capsules back then.
Right.
But maybe one more interesting way other than just kind of grinding for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you could grind for money, but then just don't have RNG. Have it be like, which ones do you want to buy?
Yeah.
if you do the random thing, you don't get duplicates. Like, just keep giving me new stuff.
Yeah.
That would have been good. Thinking about it, what I would want is kind of like a mixture of a few of the different Budokai games. Give it some time to give it some polish. Give me the really great cutscenes from Budokai 1.
Yeah.
Give me the multiple character campaigns from 3, because you could play through the story as Goku. You could play through it as Vegeta, as Broly, and they each had their own thing.
Oh, yeah. The villains, too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then give me the tight, fast gameplay of Infinite World, but don't make it so goddamn hard. Like,
that's not their fault. It's your fault, man. Get better, scrub.
That's not true. Everybody complains about the difficulty of that game. It's impossible.
It's hard.
I don't think I can do it now in my 30s. I'm an old man. I can't dodge that fast.
I got bills to pay, man.
So really, it's just kind of like take all those things that you kind of experimented with in the past, get them all good to go.
Refine it. You got it all. You know what you're doing now. Just do as good a quality as you do with Fighter Z. Just we want that, but just for a different style of fighting game, like Budokai style.
Right. Graphically, how would you want it to look compared to like
that's
what game?
That's what I was saying. Maybe burst limit, but I'm thinking back, maybe not, because it is too glossy and slippery. So I think on the right track with Budokai 3 with the cell shading, I think I like that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they're still using these models and stuff for Super Dragon Ball Heroes. It's still just the Budokai engine. All the character models are the same. Of course, they just make new characters for.
Oh yeah, I was so jealous in Japan. They still had like those machines, and you could that's the same exact models, right? That's what you're saying. Yep. They have the same exact. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could just go buy Super Dragon Ball Heroes for the Switch or the PlayStation or PC. It's out in America.
That's true. That's true. I won't though. I won't.
No, I've already bought it twice. I bought it for the Switch, and I think I bought it for PC as well. But I haven't really played it. Yeah, because I was like, oh, finally Heroes! I can try this, and then I didn't care enough.
I knew it was like, I knew it was like not going to be great. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna skip that. But no, before I forget again, another memory that I have of Budokai 3 was buying it. I bought the collector's edition when it first came out, which encompassed like it was like a weird case kind of sticking out, but it had like a window, a window panel of the Dragon Ball. I remember having specifically a $10 birthday coupon, and I'm like, mom, can we go add another coupon to it makes the $50 game $40. Isn't that amazing? All right, Douglasito, let's go. And like, and I got it. And it was amazing. I think it came with like a little Broly chibi figure.
Oh
yeah, like I think that was what's in the Dragon Ball window, was you see like a little chibi Broly. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure a little tiny figures in there.
Does it glow in the dark? I think
yes, it's one of those. Okay. Yes, I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly. And it comes with like the collector's edition came with like a DVD that I forget if it was like a behind the scenes of the game. I think that's where like Sean Schemmel talks about almost passing out by doing the Dragon Fist. I think, or maybe I'm mixing that with some other special edition, but I'm pretty sure it came with like a DVD.
Oh wow, yeah, I think it did. It came with some behind the scenes thing and some trailers. I think is what came on there.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying it. Like that was the one where I'm like, this I could tell before buying it, like this is gonna be the one.
They put in the time, they put in everything for this. And it was.
Man. I think that's where my addicting collecting habits started. I need collector's edition.
Maybe what we'll do, for these games, because there's a lot of them, we'll pick one and maybe we'll sit down and we'll play them one day and we'll really dive into that.
Dive in, with a fresh mind of everything. Because talking about it right now, I'm loving the memory, the walk down memory lane.
It's good. If you have the ability, I'd say go and check out these games. Definitely 3. 3 is pretty dang great. Very accessible. Man, it's such good stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with some trivia and some other junk.
Oh boy.
And we're back. And Doug, I got my treat for you.
Favorite thing. Is it my favorite thing?
I think it's your favorite thing because it's trivia.
Hell no, buddy. I'm out.
No, you gotta stay. Especially because I can't remember exactly which person it was. I'm sorry. Said, you guys gotta do more trivia. I love that stuff.
Oh my God. They love torturing me. Make me look like an idiot.
One of these days, it's just gonna be a full-on trivia episode. I'm gonna make like 25 questions. We'll play Jeopardy. It'll be great.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
What is a Dodoria?
What is? Yes, oh no, I don't know, but he's delicious.
All right, man. I got a full stack of questions. Are you ready?
I didn't already like yell out answers answers. I don't know what I'm going to be, new information you're going to have for me, but
okay.
Let's
well,
go.
Then here we go. Question number 1. In Budokai 1, the story is told through many full-motion cutscenes. In one scene, we see Roshi inside Kami House, and there's a book on the table. What is that book?
I have no idea. I don't have a single, but I'm remembering now. This is where my mind goes. We forgot about talking about
the Mind Palace.
Sorry, we forgot to talk about the what ifs in Budokai 1. I think it's Budokai 1 where like
and 2. There's
and 2.
one.
Yeah, the Tianxia, but in 1 Cell absorbs Krillin, and so like it was like a tiny little Krillin. Oh my god, it was so cool.
And then Yamcha and Tenshinhan beat him up because like, oh, he's just a weakling now. We can take him.
It was so cool. And then like Vegeta turning Super Saiyan in front of Yajirobe and at the Saiyan saga, like I think he defeats them in that timeline. And so he's like wearing a Saiyan armor, but he's got golden Saiyan hair. Oh, so cool.
It is cool. But
I don't know what the book. I don't know what the book is about. I tried veering off. I'm sorry. I don't know.
You want to just take a stab in the dark?
Is it like porno mags? That doesn't seem like a fancy
No, it's an actual book. Or
really, is it a guidebook to the game? Is it how to play Budokai 1?
Dang, that'd be great, but no, it is not. That's a good guess. It is Volume 1 of the Dragon Ball manga.
Oh, cool! What? I gotta see this. I gotta see this image. That's awesome.
Boot up that Budokai, man.
Boot up that Budokai.
Gotta do. All right, here we go. Another question.
Mm-hmm.
In Budokai 1, Future Trunks had transformation skills for Super Saiyan Grade 2 and 3. In Budokai 2, these are removed and instead replaced with what transformation?
Is it just Super Trunks 2?
No. You're close, though. I'll give it to you. It just explicitly says Super Saiyan 2, which...
Oh, they did call him Super Saiyan 2.
Yep.
What a bluff. Someone messed up their quality control.
What a boner that person made.
God, do they even watch anime? They don't know what they're talking about. In episode 35...
Yeah, I get it. They had to condense it. It's so similar. Like, what's the difference? Like, weirdly, there is a difference, but I forgive you.
It's
whatever.
such a convoluted thing that I don't blame anyone for not understanding.
Yeah.
Grade 3, what?
Yeah. So we've got question 3.
Mm-hmm.
Budokai 3 Greatest Hits version in the US was the very first time a now standard feature was introduced to the Dragon Ball video game series. What is that feature?
Oh god, standard feature. Is it be able to choose music while you play?
Very close.
Oh, I'm always very close, but I feel like I'm never close. What do you mean?
Come on, what else could you choose?
Outfits, characters, music, location. No, locations are always the thing you could choose. I don't know, man.
It was the first time you could choose to play the game in North America in either English or in Japanese.
Oh, that changed the game, man.
It did.
I think I
original
still played
Japanese audio.
Oh, well, that you said just in the greatest hits, right? Because I was like, I still played Budokai 3 in English, I remember.
Budokai 3 only have the original English, but if you bought the greatest hits version, you could choose.
Right, but I think I was still on the cusp in my fandom of like preferring the dub at that time, so I would have chosen that regardless. But that's cool. Maybe I would have gotten greatest hits if I was a full-on Japanese fan at that point in my life.
That was the selling point for me. I had been watching it fan subbed for a bit, so I was like, oh, I want this. This would be great.
Yeah, I want it just for that cover. That cover looks so cool. Vegeta and Goku.
It is a sick cover. Yeah. Lunging at each other.
Yeah,
ready to fight.
Classic.
Way better than the standard one, which is just Goku fist and yelling face.
Oh yeah, that did suck. Yeah.
It's basically the Fighters cover, and they both suck. I don't like it.
Which one was Budokai 2? The one with Trunks and a sword, like with a reflection of characters?
That was Tenkaichi 2. Budokai 2 was Vegito like screaming and like a booze in the background.
Oh, see, now that I'm remembering, I think I did get Tenkaichi 2 then. I just never got Tenkaichi 3 where everyone was like, that's the best one. I'm like, I'm pass.
That's fair. I get it.
2 strikes and you're out, buddy, for me.
In Burst Limit, next question, by the way.
Yes, Burst Limit.
In Burst Limit, we see a form of Goku's in the story mode, yet that form is not playable. What form is that?
What? There's a form that he has that in
a story mode cutscene. Yeah.
What? It's not fake Super Saiyan, but for movie 3,
it's not.
His
and that was in movie 4.
I have no idea.
So in the story mode where you are against Broly, because it does that movie, I suppose. At the end, Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 2, and it's kind of this like bright, glowing silhouette of Super Saiyan 2, and then it's just like the screen goes dark and it goes to credits. credits. Like,
I don't think I knew that. I don't know if I even picked up on that one. That's what that was that he was doing.
Yeah, so
that's
it was
cool.
like,
I gotta check that out then.
Yeah, check that out. Play that boring game.
Broly wasn't the character though. Broly was a character you could play. I mean, in that game.
I can't remember if he was playable, but I know that there's like a story mode thing where you fought against him.
Okay, that's weird.
Next question.
Oh boy,
Shin Budokai, a game from 2006.
I know that one.
Includes a remark from Goku that is quite prophetic of something that indeed happens in the future.
No, I know.
What is this remark that eventually becomes
play the
true?
Story. I told you I played 1 million hours of the gameplay. I didn't play the story. He says, I can't wait to meet Arale-chan.
I can't wait.
Again.
We're going to be best of friends another time because it's already happened. We met at Penguin Village. In another road, yes.
No, he says something, oh man, I hope someone does, a god doesn't take my body and then turns pink-haired. Is that what he says, word for word?
No, he speculatively says to Broly that there's another world where we would be friends. Oh. And in Dragon Ball Super Broly, they become friends, and they show up in Super Hero, they're hanging out together.
No, that doesn't count. You say that's just a generic line, an anime line. Protagonist, like, I'm about to kill you. Hope in another world. Come back as a good person, boo.
Just happens, man. Dragon Ball repeats itself. That's how it goes.
Well, Goku wishes he could be friends with everyone. You know, as long as they put up a good fight.
Next question, then.
Okay. I'm 0 for 5 or whatever.
I'm not keeping track. Future Gohan is given 2 new transformations in Shin Budokai Another Road. What are they?
Oh, I didn't play that. 2 new transformations? I mean, there's only Super Saiyan 1 and 2 I could think of. That's got to be it. There's no other... He, unlocks 2 in the future? Is that right? You can tell me I'm right. You can stop dangling me. Tell me. Cut me off. I'm talking, Randy.
That's half. You got one of them.
No.
It's Super Saiyan 2. What would the other one be?
There's another Kaioken?
Nope.
I'm not going to guess 3. That's just stupid.
You're correct. It's not 3.
It's not 4, because I would have definitely seen a model of that somewhere floating around.
Not 4.
Another transformation?
Yeah.
Am I a bad Dragon Ball fan? Am I forgetting?
What's something else?
I'm going by numbers. The grades? Does he have grades?
No. What's another thing that Gohan gets in the normal timeline?
A wife.
That's not a transformation, Doug.
That is to me.
It transformed my life.
What's something? Say that again. I'm sorry.
What's another form he gets in the normal timeline?
Oh! Does he unlock his potential or whatever with Elder Kaioshin?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, I wish I played that game. That's so cool. No way. Future Gohan gets that?
Yep.
Whoa.
They went all out. They made his hair black again.
I'm going on eBay, finding a copy of this and my PSP and
doing
it up.
I've got one last question for you, Doug.
Yeah, I'm going to ace it. Knock out the park.
Dragon Ball Z Infinite World finally corrected an issue with certain auras that afflicted prior releases. What was that error?
What was the error? Bad guys had red and should have blue or something like that? Colors?
You're on the right track about colors.
Colors. I don't know. Instead of white, they were yellow. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I concede.
Won't dangle you anymore.
Thank you, sir.
So, Budokai 2 and 3, Super Saiyan 2 and 3 had sparks, but they were yellow. Infinite World, they're finally colored blue, as they should be. Oh,
cool. Interesting.
That was what they decided to spend some dev time doing.
Yeah.
Let's change that aura color. This will be the definitive product now.
Sir, the game's too hard. People can't beat it. I don't care. I want the sparks to be blue.
That's the important things we need to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back through these. How many points did you get?
None. I didn't get it. Same as usual,
0,
Randy. I get, you're so close, Doug.
Yeah.
Almost you're on the right track, Doug, but not really.
Yeah, you got 0. You're a bad Dragon Ball fan, Doug. And
I should feel ashamed.
You should feel ashamed, but I should feel ashamed because I have not done a good enough job being your steward through the Dragon Balls.
Somehow I don't feel ashamed. I think I'm shameful of your question asking, and you know my weaknesses. It's like telling you I'm not good at times and dates, and you're like, all right, well, what day it did?
I wasn't admitting fault at my question asking. I was admitting fault at not being a good mentor to you. So,
please, senpai, I need your assistance. You're my only hope.
So I'll have to do better at that and whip you into shape.
I still feel like the best way to admit I'm a big Dragon Ball fan is to admit that I don't know everything, and I'm okay with that.
That's good. I like that. That's very big of you.
That's my cop out. That's what I'm sticking to.
We begin your training tomorrow morning. Before dawn, you're going to be carrying some milk.
Do I have to eat raw eggs?
You do.
Oh,
you also have to share a bed with lunch. So
nice score.
Oh no,
blonde. Blonde. No. All right. Well, this is my last episode. I'm dead. Sorry.
That actually wraps us up for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation. And hey, again, thank you so much for all of the episode content ideas. We've got a bunch of them, and we look forward to talking about all that good stuff. And I can't wait to share that with you.
We appreciate you all. Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track Kakarot theme hip hop trap remix. You can find that jam and other great tracks by Rifti on his SoundCloud. We want to give a shout out to the sponsors. Thanks for the moolah, as always.
There you
go. Randy wrote a Japanese, whatever. How am I supposed to read that? Randy, where can people find us?
You can find me on Twitter at Saber_Breaker. And hey, if you like other anime, like Revolutionary Girl Utena,
plugging his other shit,
you should go listen to my other podcast, Revolutionary Podcast Utena. Me and my buddy Jared, he's never seen the show before. I have, and we watch it together and talk about it, and it's a good time.
Fun. Oh, speaking of which, I had a friend of mine who got COVID, unfortunately, a few weeks ago, but he took that time off to watch Dragon Ball from the very beginning. He's never seen the show before. He just, through me, like, loving it, he got osmosis through that. So he started watching it in Japanese without me telling him to. Like, he just started watching it in Japanese the right way, and he loves it. He whizzed by it all because Hulu was going to take it off of their network, really soon. So he blazed through it, loves it. He's starting to see now, and I couldn't be more prouder. Jair, I love you, buddy.
Does he have a good microphone? Because I'm looking for an actual Dragon Ball fan to do a podcast with.
Oh, well, in that case, you can find me. You can find me at DrabazDoug on all the socials. And if you like our dumb little show, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to help out even more, write a review or tell your fellow Dragon Ball fans about us.
And don't forget, you can tweet at us at WeGotAPod, and you can email us your thoughts, ideas, whatever you want to say at WeGotAPod@gmail.com.
Awesome. We'll see you next time.
Later.